Let's go. Receiving your content. Your audience will see you are live. The internet can totally see you now. It can see you now. What's going on, everybody? Let's give it a few minutes before we get started. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Hi. Hello, Renee. Hello, hello, hello. Let's get going here. Just checking everything out, making sure. Okay. There we go. We're good. I think we're recording. We're live. What's going on? Hope everybody had a fantastic week. I'm back. I know it's a little scary. It's been a whole week. I've been paying attention to people, what's going on in Skype, but there hasn't been much going on. So I'm here to stir the pot. Shake it up a little, as we say. Stir the pot. Stir the pot. What's going on, Henrik? How you doing? A few things. Big day today. I think we paid over $1,600 in commissions. So thank you guys very much for making CTP very successful and continuing to grow. We've grown by thousands of people this past week and a half, and I do know why. We've been promoted by a few big name guys in the paid to click world. So huge opportunity for you guys at CTP to get out there and be seen and be heard by thousands of new people in CTP. So be sure to get out there. I think at last count, I was doing the count a couple of days ago. I think Tuesday I checked in with Justin, and it was like 2,000 people had joined CTP in less than like 5 days or something. It was insane. It's insane. So huge numbers for you guys to go and advertise to. And sorry, I just hit my desk, so everything's wobbling. See this cool little poster behind me? I found this while surfing the traffic exchanges. I did, yes. So I bought this. I saw this while surfing and purchased it. Just saying. There's stuff out there to be sold and to be had by all. So, anyways, I'm back. It was an adventure, a fun drive, a fun little vacation, short little vacation, for the wife and I, and saw part of the country I've never seen before. So that was cool. But I came back and I was like, I haven't done anything for like a week, so I should really do a show today. And even if I didn't have anything really prepared, I should still present something, because that's kind of my job description, right? And it's not fair to you guys that subscribe to this channel, that hang out with me each and every day, if I'm not providing value. So I went on to my list of things that people wanted to talk about, and it was I saw thinking outside of the box, and I thought I could discuss this a little bit, and kind of use some analogies, and really kind of hammer home some of the important aspects I believe are involved in thinking outside of the box. Well, as you guys know, I have this really popular image. Let me see if I can find it for you guys. I drew this years ago when I was doing TE Live, and it really took off. So let me see. Yes. So I did two of these things, right? These are kind of my pardon my awesome drawing techniques, okay? But I did this one, right? The box and think outside of it. Because when you're comfort zone, when you're outside of your comfort zone, that's where success is. So you want to be here. You want to think outside of the box. So what does that mean? Because a lot of times you'll hear people go, well, John, I'm not that creative. I don't know enough about business. I'm not confident in my abilities to get on camera. I don't know about how to use Twitter properly, how to use social media. How do I stick out from the crowd? How do I get outside of that box? This is how I do it. This is my testimony, I guess, how I would say, how I think outside of the box. I know that 99% of the people are going to be doing it this way. I know that they're not going to do things like do personal development. I know they're not going to read a lot of books. I know they're not going to surf and get ideas for different websites and different designs. I know they're not going to try to practice their craft and get better. I know, even though they all have downloaded Plus One Success, I know a lot of them aren't going to do those step-by-step daily tasks. So how do you think outside of the box? Well, you do things that might seem trivial, but actually separate you from everybody else, because most people won't do that stuff. Simple things like goal planning. Like, you hear that and people roll their eyes. I do my 3 things each and every day I want to achieve. People roll their eyes, go, oh yeah, sure, John, yeah. Okay, yeah, I'll write down 3 things that I want to do each and every day, and I'll work for it. And they don't. So it might seem trivial, it might seem boring, it might seem like, oh no, here we go again, but that's the difference maker. That's the stuff that is outside of the box. That is out of the norm. Even though you think the normal way of doing business is to, do this stuff, most people don't do it. Most people don't goal plan. Most people don't read books. Most people don't study personal development and marketing. And, for example, this is how I think outside of the box. This is how I'm wired differently. I'm on a road trip with my wife this past week. We get to Kelowna, British Columbia, a beautiful part of the country, beautiful rolling hills and beautiful lake. It's in the middle of the Okanagan Valley in British Columbia. It's very lush, very green. Where's the first place I go to? I go to the local bookstore and buy a bunch of books. That's what I did on my vacation. I read some books too, but that's what I knew, that even though I'm on vacation per se, there's people that are my competitors that are getting better, so I need to get better. And that's kind of how I'm wired differently. I think outside of the box. I'm not sitting there going, oh, I'm on vacation, and I'm not saying this is the right way to do things. I'm just giving you an example of how I do things. I was really excited to go to a bookstore and find the books that I found that I have not seen in the bookstore here in Edmonton. That was exciting to me. It's a little weird, but that's how I think. I'm always trying to grow. I'm always trying to build my knowledge base. I know that my competition is at my heels, and they're ready and willing to take me out at any time. Anytime if I stumble, they're ready to scoop it up and say, I'm going to run with it now. So I have to do my best to keep pressing. I need to do these little things. Now, I'm not saying you got to go take a week off work and go sit in the bookstore, but I'm thinking, what I'm saying is, you got to think what everybody else is doing, you do the opposite. Everybody else is taking it easy. Everybody else is on summer vacation. Everybody else is, oh yeah, write down 3 things. Oh yeah, sure, John. Everybody else has downloaded Plus One Success but hasn't finished step 2. Everybody else has done this. You separate yourself. This is how you get outside of your comfort zone. This is how you break out of the box. You do the things that you might roll your eyes at, the trivial things that might not look on paper, that might not look on paper like the right things to do, but you know that 99% of the people won't do that stuff. Like Ken just said, show up every day. That's exactly it. 99% of the people won't do this stuff. They won't show up every day. They won't do the little things over time that result in that give out the biggest return. The biggest return is the small things over time. That's how you get results. I've been getting emails from people the past couple of weeks where it just I was frustrated by reading some of the emails because they've already given up. There's some of these people that I thought for sure were going to be superstars in this industry that said all the right things. And I've been doing this for 20 years, so I've heard it all. They said all the right things, they built the right networks, but they didn't see it through. They didn't do the little things over time. They did the little things right for a few months, but they didn't follow it through. And that's how you become a massive success in this business. That's how you think outside of the box. When you hear John saying, or Ken saying, show up every day, people roll their eyes. Sure, John, show up every day. Yeah, okay. What's the real answer to success? That's it. Show up every day, grow every day, do things that might seem annoying and ridiculously, and you don't see the ROI of doing it right now, but you do that over time, and bam, you start seeing results. That's how you think outside of the box, because 99% of the people listening to this will just roll their eyes, yeah, sure, John, okay, I'll show up every day, but they won't do anything. They might show up and start talking about the weather, but they're not going to grow. They're not going to build their email list. They're not going to practice ad copywriting. They're not going to be blogging. I don't know how many times I've been telling people to be blogging in Plus One Daily and TE Live for years. There's still very few people blogging every day. Pretty sure I'm the only one out there doing the blog. Like, when it comes to our industry, I see a few people do a blog post and say Scott Rohn is like the only other guy I see out there blogging all the time. Everybody else has had the exact same information. Why is it? Because he's thinking outside of the box. He knows that everybody gets the same information, but him doing that stuff that might not pay off right now. It might not pay off right now, but he does it. Each and every day. He does it. He shows up. He knows that 3 years from now, if he's doing this, he'll have a track record of 3 years of, like Ken said, showing up every day. That separates yourself from the crowd. That breaks you outside of the box. That breaks you out of the DoSAP mentality, the standard affiliate mentality. That gets you outside of the comfort zone where you might get some stones thrown at you. You might get some harsh words said your way, but you know that you're doing something right because you're doing things that no one else is doing. And when you do that over time, that's the way to do it. So you want the thinking outside of the box. I mean, this is what I do. Again, this is not gospel. This is not the be-all, end-all. This is just my example of what I do. I read a lot of books, and I'm nose deep in a book each and every single day. Every single day I'm reading. And what am I doing? I'm writing it down. This is what I'm doing. I'm writing down everything, all the notes, highlighting key points, doing little graphics and stuff, taking screenshots of stuff and sticking it out there. I got pages and pages of notes. Pages of notes. The stuff that, you know, I'm not just saying read a book just to read a book, but I'm getting these ideas. I'm thinking outside of the box because I'm learning, right? I said this in on my blog post on Plus One Daily a few weeks ago. When I read a book from John C. Maxwell, it's basically John C. Maxwell is mentoring me. When I read a book from Gary Vaynerchuk is mentoring me. When I read a book from Jim Rohn or Brian Tracy or Tony Robbins or some of these guys that are a lot better at life than I am, when I'm reading, I'm getting mentored by them. And I have thousands of mentors now. And these nuggets start showing up in little ideas. And I know that 99% of my competition are not reading the same books I am. I know they're not nose deep into this stuff. So I do that over time. Now I have stacks of notes that I can put into business. I can put into practice. Things that I've learned from my mentors that I can put into business. That's how you think of. That's how I do. Now, I'm not going to say that's how you do it because it might be different for you. But how I do it is I read a lot and I write down a lot of notes. And the ideas that I get from that allows me to think outside of the box and do the little things. Brian Tracy talks about it in Goals. I highly recommend that book, Goals by Brian Tracy. It's mind-blowingly good. You read that and you start writing down the things you want to achieve, your SMART goals. Anybody know what SMART goals? Smart, measurable, right? Smart, measurable, attainable. I can't think of it right now because I'm not that smart. But SMART goals, very specific, measurable, attainable. Yeah, sorry, that's what it is. But read that book. I highly recommend it. And he talks about writing down these goals on paper, literally. And I'm sure that thousands of people have read that book. Only a few people have actually followed the steps. So it's like that's kind of the key, right? Is to not just read this stuff and hear this stuff, but actually do this stuff. It's like we talked about last week. Business plans are absolutely useless if you don't execute. If you don't actually do something. This is the book this is great. I mean, I saw this book in the bookstore and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Do It Marketing. Do it. That's the greatest marketing plan, business plan in the history of. I can't wait to read this book. Do It Marketing. Do it. Just do it. Don't talk about it. Just do it. Thought that was brilliant. Anyways, I digress. I hope you guys I hope you guys had a fantastic week without me around. I smell bad sometimes. But I hope you got some value from today. Remember, this is just my interpretation of it, how I think outside of the box. I read a lot. I write down a lot of notes. I get mentored by all these authors, and it allows me to do things a little bit differently than how everybody else is doing them. I do that over time. I stick with it. I blog. I write emails. I study copywriting. I study marketing. I started advertising. I study all this stuff. It gets me a little bit better. Each and every day I'm growing. And you do this over time. There might not be an ROI on it right away, but you do this over time. You start stepping out of your comfort zone a little bit more, right? That's where you find success. So that's the box. That's average. That's what we got to stop selling average stuff to average people. This is average. You need to think outside of it. So, hope you guys had a fantastic, fantastic week. I will see you guys on Monday afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern. I will be back. Thank you guys for coming and rocking with me. I appreciate everybody. Have a fantastic weekend. Be good to each other. I will see you guys next week. Toodles. Oh, wait, I got to do the countdown.